to upgrade the new.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
It's not me, sir. Someone telling
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, Kirtana, we can hear you. Yes. We can hear you. Yeah, Nilofer, please continue.
Yeah, sir. If you are upgrading a new icon or a new activity, if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah. So,
application.
Yeah.
So shall I continue?
Can I answer?
No. Nilofer started. Let her complete.
Hello.
Kirtana, Nilofer started. Let her continue. Let her complete.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Please.
In a already built up application, if there we are going to add a new icon or new activity, then we have then there will be a performance testing.
Okay, not a new icon and new activity. Some new feature is added. When
Yes,
some
yes,
new
new
feature
features
is added, or some new functionality is
new
added.
functionality. Yes, sir. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay. So remember the terminology. Okay, please remember the terminology.
Feature.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that is one case. Whenever there is that is one scenario. That means whenever there is some new feature or new functionality gets added to the application, then we have to do performance testing.
Performance testing.
What are the other scenarios for an existing application?
For an existing.
Yes, for an already existing application. So already production law one application undi. Okay. So when
Yes.
do we need to do performance testing for an already existing application? Siddharth. Yeah, I'm muted. Yeah, Nilofer.
When do we need to do means?
What are the other cases? I explained 4 examples. I gave 4 examples, isn't it?
Yes.
Alekhya?
Yes, sir. Software upgrade like database, OS,
Software upgrade.
or
Right.
hardware
Whenever
upgrade.
there is a software upgrade or a hardware upgrade. Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And Jayalakshmi, what are the other examples that I have given yesterday?
If there is an increase in the number of users,
Right. Whenever there is increase in the number of users or new users get added to the application. Correct. That is another scenario that we discussed. One more. I think I gave 4 examples, right? Isn't it? I gave 4 examples. Yes or no?
yes, sir. If there is any hardware, like
That's already covered. That's already
when
covered.
there are server is getting
New hardware.
Sorry.
yes, sir, new server machine or something.
Right. So whenever there is some software upgrade or OS migration, right? Remember this OS migration, right? So someone told software upgrade and hardware upgrade. So whenever there is some operating system migration also, we do this performance testing. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and for a newly built application, yes, can you explain some examples? Like why do we do testing for a newly built application? When do we do performance testing? What is the reason for doing performance testing for a newly built application? What is the purpose of doing?
To check the readiness of the application, sir.
Right. What readiness?
Like, is it ready for the end users to use it like that?
Right. So for readiness to production, right?
Yeah.
So to verify the readiness of the application to production, to make it go live. That is one scenario, one reason. What are the other reasons for doing performance testing?
Creating a benchmark for a future systems.
Correct. Right. Creating benchmark for future systems. I think Nagaraj remembered that example well.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Remember that Rajmouli example. 100
Yes,
crores.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah. So what are the other scenarios? What are the other reasons?
For performing bottlenecks, sir.
Comparing multiple
Finding
platforms.
out bottlenecks. For finding out bottlenecks. Not performing bottlenecks. For finding out performance bottlenecks.
Okay.
Yeah, it is also helpful to find out which component is not working properly under what circumstances.
Correct. Yeah. Good, Jalakshmi. Right.
Comparing
So that is
multiple platforms, sir.
Correct. They are comparing multiple platforms, creating benchmark for future systems. Nagaraj told this, right? And assess readiness of production environment. I think who mentioned this? Who mentioned this? Nilofer. Is it Nilofer?
What, sir?
Who mentioned this one? Assess readiness of production. This is also from Jaya.
It's not me. It's
Yes,
not.
sir.
Right. Yeah. So these are the reasons for doing performance testing. Uncover what components of an application suffer poor performance, under what circumstances, or what under what conditions, right? To find out any performance issues with the application, right? And also one more thing is support system tuning. These two are important. Okay. So compare performance characteristics with different system configurations and to support system tuning. So what is this system tuning? What is this system tuning? Guess what is system tuning?
Hi, Pawan. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry.
Yeah. So system tuning means optimizing the application performance, right? So making some changes in the configurations and tuning the application. I gave this example, right, yesterday, bike example. If you are not getting proper mileage, right? So the technician will do the engine tuning, isn't it? Will tune the engine beating and all, right? So in the same way for software also, to get optimal performance from the application. So we need to do some, like system configuration changes and see, right? That is system tuning or code tuning, right? Sometimes code, we know if a developer wrote some bad code also, that causes performance issues. So if you want to do that code tuning and all, right? All these fall under system tuning. System means nothing but application, your application tuning. System means not a lab, your server. Okay. System means here application tuning. Clear, guys? Now, so you should remember at least like 4 to 5 out of these. So here you have 4 and here you have around 7, I think 8, right? So you have like 4 plus 8, 12. You have 12 scenarios in which we do performance testing. So I don't think I think like remembering 4 to 5 is not an issue, right? That should not be an issue, right? So if you understand the concepts, you will remember that, guys. You'll remember most of them. All right. So now let's understand what are the prerequisites for doing performance testing. Okay. So and one more thing. So when you are explaining this increasing users or adding new users, you can tell those examples in the interview, right? Whatever I gave examples, right? Kotak Mahindra Bank after acquisition of ING Vysya Bank will have more number of users. Kotak Mahindra net banking, right? So or else like one more example is you might have heard this, or some people might have this SBH bank account, right? Does anyone used to have State Bank of Hyderabad bank account previously? No. Let's say yes or no.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
So
No,
in 2020, I think, so as some 5 associate banks merged with the parent group SBI merger, right? I think it's 21 or 20. So 5 associate banks are merged with SBI. Okay, I think it's initiated in 2017, but I don't think it's complete. Okay, whatever it is, we're not bothered about that. So see here, 5 associate banks are merged with the State Bank of India group. So what are those? State Bank of Hyderabad, State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur. I know the State Bank of Hyderabad, we know very well, right? So because my father used to have State Bank of Hyderabad bank account. So previously the URL is some sbhonline.com or something, right? So in the same way, so actually in 2017 or 18, 5 banks got merged with the SBI, State Bank of India. So that is State Bank of SBT means State Bank of Travancore and State Bank of Mysore, right? So after post this merger, everyone there are 5 banks actually. Yeah, here it is. State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Travancore, and State Bank of Hyderabad and State Bank of Patiala, right? So all these have their own net banking applications. At least URL used to be different, right? But once the merger is completed, everyone has to use onlinesbi.com, right? Or sbimonline.com. What is the URL of SBI net banking, guys? Anyone remember? onlinesbi.com, right? Now obviously there will be new users or new users or more number of users who will be accessing this onlinesbi.com, isn't it? Now, before that, acquisition or merger, completing the merger, right? State Bank of India will test their application whether to verify whether it can accommodate those new users or not, right? So how do they verify? They will test the performance testing of the application with more user load. Suppose SBI has some 5 lakh users, and let's assume that State Bank of India has 5 lakh users. Please give me a moment. Let's assume that State Bank of India has let's assume that it has 5 lakh users. Okay, maybe more than that also. Let's say some 10 lakh users, because it's used pan India, right? 10 lakh net banking users. Okay, before this merger, and let's assume that SBH has some 1 lakh users, right? 1 lakh. And some, let's say, State Bank of Mysore has some 1 lakh users. 1 lakh net banking users. When I say users here, I'm referring to net banking users, right? So in the same way, State Bank of Travancore, Bikaner and Jaipur, all those banks have some 50,000 or 1 lakh users, right? So now once post this merger, right, everyone will start using this onlinesbi.com, isn't it? Right? Now onlinesbi.com. After this merger, right, they will have some new users added, like who will start using this onlinesbi.com, isn't it? So now, as State Bank of India has to do performance testing to confirm that whether they can accommodate their net banking, the servers that they have, whether they can support this additional number of users or not, right? So they will do performance testing with more number of users now, even though it is an existing application, isn't it? Then they may need to add few more servers, or they may need to upgrade the CPU or memory, right? If it is not sufficient. Clear, guys? Yes, sir. Okay. So now let's discuss, what are the prerequisites for doing performance testing. So what are the prerequisites? What are the requirements for doing performance testing? First and foremost thing is a stable build with no major functional defects. There should not be any functional defects in the application. If there are any functional defects, see, functional testing is something which we do with single user, or 1 user, or 2 users, or 3 users. And performance testing is something which we do with hundreds or thousands or lakhs of users, right? So if your application is having functional defects, there is no point in doing performance testing. Yes or no? If the functionality itself is not working fine, there is no point in doing performance testing. Yes or no? So that is the first and foremost prerequisite for doing performance testing. A stable build with no major functional defects. Here, guys. The next important prerequisite is performance testing environment should be identical to production environment. Let me explain this point. Performance testing environment should be identical to production environment. So we already discussed that performance testing is done in an environment called, what is the environment in which performance testing is done, guys? What is that environment? So most of your
Engineering environment or test environment.
Right. So performance testing is done in an environment called test environment or engineering environment, right? So that engineering environment or test environment should be, see here, I mentioned the test or engineering environment. This is the environment in which performance testing will be done. So what is meant by this environment? I explained this one also. What is meant by environment? Environment is nothing but a group of servers, server or a group of servers on which your application is running. Understand? Understood, guys? Right?
Yes, sir.
And suppose, let's assume that, okay, so let me go to the 3-tier architecture. 1 second, please. Let's assume that this is your production environment. Okay, production environment means live environment. Let's assume this is SBI Net Banking live environment, and it has 3 web servers, 4 application servers, and 3 database servers. Let's assume that. Why do we need more than 1 server, by the way?
If one server is not working, we will switch to other server.
Backup for the server.
No, not a backup. Not you will have a backup
If one
environment.
server is busy with one work, then we can take like some other server like.
Right. So when hundreds and lakhs of users are accessing the application, if there is only one machine, its capacity may not be sufficient, isn't it? So one server capacity may not be sufficient. So whenever we have more user load on the application, they will add this, one more web server or one more app server or one more database server, isn't it? See, this is something similar to ticket counters in a mall. If you go to a multiplex, so you will not have only just one counter, right? You'll have multiple counters, 3 or 4 or 5 based on that multiplex size of the multiplex. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So obviously, without waiting in the queue, most of you can get a ticket as soon as possible, right? So they will arrange multiple counters in the ticket counter, right, for booking the tickets, isn't it? So in the same way, if one server capacity is not sufficient, they will add few more servers. Right? This is called as horizontal scaling. We'll discuss that later. What is horizontal scaling and what is vertical scaling? We'll discuss that later. For now, remember that when we have hundreds and lakhs of users accessing, thousands and lakhs of users accessing the application, one server capacity may not be sufficient. Right, that's why you can have multiple instances of web server, multiple instances of application server and database server. Instance means nothing but multiple servers. That's it. Right now, what is this load balancer, by the way? Load balancer is a software which balances the load when hundreds and thousands and lakhs of users are coming there. It will distribute the load. It will balance the load across all the servers, right? To distribute the user load, there will be something called load balancer. Okay. Now, so let's assume this is your production environment. In production, in SBI Net Banking application production, you have 3 web servers, 4 app servers, and 3 database servers, right? So if you want to do performance testing for this application, you should have an exact replica of production. Means we already discussed that performance testing is done in test environment and an environment called test environment or engineering environment, right? That test or engineering environment also should be having same number of servers, same configuration like that, right? So this test or engineering environment should be having same number of servers, same hardware, same software configurations, and same load balancer and all this. Yes or no? Then only we'll get accurate results. Agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that is the another prerequisite for performance testing. So your test environment should be identical to production, isn't it? Right? Performance testing environment identical to production environment. Is this point clear, guys? Understood now? Yes or no? You understood what is the meaning of that? Performance testing environment should be identical to production.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, the next important prerequisite is to ensure consistent results of performance testing environment should be isolated from any other environment, such as user acceptance testing or development. Means performance testing environment should not be used by any other team. UAT team or development team should not be using that when we are doing a load test, when we are doing some testing, right? That's what this I mean to say here, right? And no other testing while doing performance test executions. There should be no, other testing like user acceptance testing or security testing or penetration testing. there are a lot of different types of testing. So when we are doing performance test executions, no other testing should be done. There should be no other testing going on, right? And conduct performance testing before application go live, of course, valid, very important point. So we have to do performance testing before the application go live, right? So once it go live and if we have some performance issues, users will have a bad experience. They may leave to the other websites. Yes or no? So once the application goes live or once a new feature goes live, and if there are some performance issues, users may skip your website, right? Users may go to some other website. Suppose yesterday I gave you one example. So of this Heritage Fresh. So it is not working now from almost 6 months. It's not working. So definitely I don't want to visit it again, right? So I look for, if I want to do some online shopping, I will not go for this first thing, right? I'll try to avoid this if you have some performance issues frequently like this, isn't it? See, it is saying that we are improving some features, still then try on our mobile devices. No, so if I am not comfortable with mobile device, like I may go for some other website, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this business is losing this, this particular organization is losing the business, and that business is going to the competitor. It is a double whammy effect, right? So on one side you are losing business, on the other side your competitor will become strong by getting that business. Yes or no? So performance testing should be done before the application go live, right? And comprehensive understanding and knowledge of the application. We as a performance testing unit should be having comprehensive understanding and knowledge of the application, complete knowledge of the application, what we are testing. So these are the prerequisites for performance testing. Clear, guys?
Sir, can you please go through the third point?
Third point is to ensure consistent results. Performance testing environment should be isolated from other environments. So you see, when I explained different types of testing life cycle, right? I explained there is something called unit testing, integration testing, functional testing, and performance testing. So apart from this, you will have something called user acceptance testing, security testing, and all this. There will be few more types of testing: security testing, penetration testing. So what this point says is, this performance testing environment should be isolated from other environments. Means any other testing should not be there carried out in this performance testing. Whether this user acceptance testing, or there should be no development work going on in that environment. Developers also should not be using that. No one should be using that other than performance testing team. Or no other testing should be carried out in this performance testing environment. Is it clear?
Yeah, okay, sir.
All right. Now let's understand. So very important interview question. What are the prerequisites for doing performance testing? Right. So let me start one document for you to list down the interview. Right. What are the prerequisites for doing performance testing? What are the other questions that we come across? What is okay? I covered it already. What is non-functional testing and what is performance testing? What are the reasons for doing PT? Right. So going forward, we'll performance testing. I'll term it as PT. Right. In short, I will term it as PT. What are the reasons for doing PT, performance testing, for an already existing application? That is one important question that we discussed yesterday. And what are the reasons for doing PT for a newly built application? And then this one question. Let me put it in a proper order. Okay. Right. Now, next important question is, what are the different types of performance testing? What are the different types of? So I'll provide you with the answers also. Guys. I'll provide a document with detailed answers for each of these. Okay. Now let's understand what are the different types of performance testing. There are different types of performance testing. First one is load test. Load test. The other one is SOAP or endurance test. Endurance testing. The other one is stress test. Right. And the other one is spike test. We'll discuss, we will understand what are these different types of tests and when do which application require which type of test. We'll discuss that soon. Another one is volume testing and so on. Right? These are the different types of performance testing. Now let me go back to the slide. Here it is. These are the different types of performance testing. Right? So you see load test, endurance testing or SOAP testing, and volume testing, scalability testing, spike testing, and stress testing. Right? So let's understand each of these now. So load testing is something which we do with expected or normal user load for 1 to 2 hours. Right? So load testing is something which we do with expected or normal user load for 1 to 2 hours. Let's say, for example, the normal user load for an expected user load of Flipkart is some 5 lakh users, right, per day. Right? So then we have to test, when we are doing a load test, we have to test with that 5 lakh users for 1 to 2 hours. Right? And now, so what is the other type of testing? Now let's see what is endurance testing. Right? Endurance or SOAP testing, that is also called as SOAP or endurance testing. Why this is called as endurance is it is a long duration test. Right? Now when you say long duration, how many hours? That depends on the business hours of the application. So how much long duration the test should be conducted, that depends on business hours of the application. So what is meant by business hours? Can someone explain, any guess like what is meant by business hours? Business hours of an application. Yes.
Morning hours.
Yeah. So the usual hours during which the business will be carried out. Right. Say for instance, if you take some LIC of India website, right, or LIC office. Suppose LIC office, Life Insurance Corporation of India, employees use some application, desktop application. Right. So they will work from 10 to 3 only strictly, or 10 to 3, or 10 to 4, or 10 to 4. Let's say in the 10 to 4. So number of business hours is 6 hours, isn't it? They won't start before 10 or they won't work after 4. Yes or no? So once the counter is closed, if you go and if you go for premium payment, so even if you have to pay lakhs of rupees, they won't work. Okay, they won't accept, isn't it? So so every business will have some business hours, right? Certain business hours. Or if you take Flipkart or Amazon, like that website will be used from morning, maybe like from morning 6 to night 11 or so. Yes or no? Or 11, night 12.
Yes.
So the number of business hours are more for this such kind of applications, Flipkart or Amazon. Flipkart or Amazon or net banking applications, right? They will be having load mostly from morning 6 to night 11 or 12, isn't it? So based on the business hours of the application, we will decide like how many hours we should do this SOAP or endurance testing. I explained this in the next slide clearly. Don't, let me show you that once. No need to take any running notes, okay? So I explained it clearly. Here I explained, everything in detail. Business hours of the application, for example, 4 hours or 8 hours or 16 hours, 1 day or 3 days, right? So I explained each test in detail. No need to take any running notes here. Please focus on the session. Right. The next type of testing is stress testing. Stress testing means test work that we do with more than normal load on the application. So if you take some travel application, so on regular days, there may be some less load, but during festival days or vacation, more number of users will be trying to access, right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
If you take any, can you give some more examples apart from travel application where there will be more than normal load on the application for a few days? Can you give some examples of websites?
Like Amazon, sir. Amazon
Yeah.
itself.
The Flipkart
Yeah,
with billion
any
days.
e-commerce application will have some more users when there is some festival, before festival or during festival, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Few more examples. Someone else told some other example.
Like traveling, it was like that in the festival seasons. It is very used in this.
Right. That's what I mentioned here. I already mentioned here. I'm asking some more examples that you know.
Mostly shopping sites only, sir.
Okay. How about net banking applications? There will
Net
be more
banking
number
also.
of users when on the month end and first week of month, right?
Yes, yes.
Once we
Yes,
get
sir.
the salary, we get salary on some last day of the month, or some organizations pay you in the first week of the month, right? So at that time there will be more number of users logging in, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any more examples? Oh, you are thinking.
Grocery application.
Right. Okay. So when they will have more load on the more users. Generally, most of the people buy in the first week once they get the salaries, right?
Yeah. On the vacation time also, festive times also.
Festival time, yes. Right. So for such kind of applications where there will be more than normal load on the application, so we have to do this stress testing also, right? And the next type of testing is spike testing. The best example that I can give for spike testing is Tatkal booking, right? So here in this case, in the previous case, there may be more load on the application, but they will not come together. They will not try to access at the same point of time. But in case of IRCTC Tatkal booking, what happens is, once the Tatkal window opens, there will be lakhs of users trying to book a ticket. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So there is a sudden spike in the user load. Right? That sudden surge in the user load is called as a spike. Right? So for such kind of applications, for the IRCTC or flash sale, whenever there is a flash sale on e-commerce application or big billion sale, there will be lakhs of users trying to access the application, isn't it? So only for such kind of applications you have to do spike testing. Not all applications require, all applications doesn't require all type of testing. Based on the requirement only, based on the type of application, we have to decide what type of testing is required for that. Understood, guys? Every application doesn't require, all these testing, all these performance test types. Based on the requirement, you have to decide as a performance test engineer, so we have to decide, or we do performance testing based on the application. We do different types of testing. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
The next type of testing is volume testing. So volume testing is nothing but a load test with expected load and huge volume of data in the database. Right? Volume testing is nothing but data volume, means size of the data in the database. Right? So I'll explain this volume testing in once we go to the test executions. I will explain this, how we do this volume testing and all. Right? For now, remember that volume testing is another type of performance testing, which is done with huge volume of data in the database. Right? And the next type of testing is scalability testing, as you can see here. The scalability testing is testing an application to verify how much it can scale. How much it can scale means how many more users it can support. Right? So this is testing an application for future load. For example, Facebook has 10 million users. I think 10 million is a old number. Let's assume that Facebook has 20 million users across the globe right now. And there are estimates that in the next 1 year, Facebook users volume will increase to some 30 million. Right? Then Facebook will test their application to see if if their application can support that feature growth in the load, feature growth in the user load. This is called as scalability testing. Scalability testing is testing an application to verify how much it can scale, means how many more users it can support. Clear, guys? That is scalability testing. The other type of testing is there are few more performance test types. Those are failover testing and capacity testing. Let me explain this failover testing
Sir,
first.
so are these tests to be done one after another at a time?
Correct. Correct. We will do one after another. First, we will do load testing, and once load testing is successful, then we go for endurance testing, right? In that manner. So we will do one after another only.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other queries, guys, before I explain this failover testing and capacity testing? And as someone asked, who is that who asked that person? So yes, these types of testing are done one after another.
It's me, Sir Nilofer.
Okay. Yeah. So any other queries from anyone?
Sir, is this mandatory for every application for all these testing?
No, that's what I mentioned. So every type of performance testing is not required for each and every application. Prati application ki anni testul cheyalsina avasaram undadu. Based on the requirement only, we will do that. Suppose some application will have sudden spike in the user load. For that application only, we have to do this spike testing. Some applications will have more than normal load on few days. For that applications, we have to do stress testing. Based on the requirement, you have to decide and do. Like what type of testing it
So
requires.
it is before the application goes into the production, or like how, sir?
Yes, correct.
After-
So yeah, that's what we discussed in the previous session, right? Previous slide. So performance testing should be done before the application goes live, obviously.
For an existing application.
Yes.
Okay.
For an existing or a newly built application.
For
Both
every.
cases.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Before the application goes live, we have to do all types of performance testing.
All right. Sir.
Any other questions, guys, or shall I move to the next one? So these are the other types of performance testing are failover testing and capacity testing. Okay. So let me explain this failover testing first. First, let me explain this failover testing. So I'll give some good example for this. I can give some good example for this failover testing, right? Suppose you have in your area you will have power cuts, right? So it's common in India, right? In our country, it's common, fortunately or unfortunately, right? So we have frequent power cuts, right? So if you want uninterrupted power supply, what do you do?
Inverter backup.
Inverter backup.
Right. So you will set up some backup for the power, right? So you'll go for some inverter, right? So let's assume that you bought an inverter and technician has, electrician has come and set up that. So you told like, all the points which you need power backup, and he has done that, right? So once the installation is done, what do you do generally?
We will test it is working or not.
Right. How do you test that?
Connecting the ports to the plug boxes, and if the current is coming or not, and offing the fuse.
No. So first we will
Inverter.
switch off the mains power.
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
And we will test whether the inverter is working or not,
Working
whether
or
the
not.
backup points are working or not, right? Right. So you will have a backup environment first thing, right? So for every web application, you will have a backup environment, right? So let's assume that this is your main environment, right? This is your main environment which users will be accessing in live, right? So for this, every web application or any mobile application, you will have a backup environment. The reason is, so we don't know, like, see, in US, like you have something called hurricanes, right? In Japan, you have earthquakes. Suppose there is some earthquake in the city where you have this main environment, right? Only in that particular city, there is some natural calamity or there is some floods or earthquakes, and there are power disruptions, right? Now but your business should continue, right? If it is net banking or application or Amazon or Flipkart, the business should continue. Yes or no?
Yes.
Whenever there is some natural calamity in that area, in the city where you have main environment. So what they will do is they will set up a backup environment, just like how we set up a backup for power. So in the same way, businesses will be having a backup environment in some other city, some other geolocation, some other geography, right? So that if the main environment is down for some reason, so that backup environment will be serving the users. So this is called continuity of business or business continuity, BCP plan. Okay. What is this? What is that, guys? BCP, business continuity plan. Right. So for this, they will, for having this BCP, business continuity plan, what they will do is every environment will have a backup environment, just like how we have an internet at home. Now, how do we test that? Once the electrician set up that installation, will we wait for the power cut to test it? We won't wait till the power cut, right?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So we will stop the mains power and see whether inverter is working or not, isn't it? So the same way, failover testing, how they do is first we will start a load test on main load test, and by default it will all the load goes to the main environment, and once after some time we will bring down that main environment lo servers ni stop chestam. We will stop the servers in the main environment, and there is some backup environment in some other location. Now what happens now, your user load, all the users who are accessing the application, their request will be going to that backup environment, right? So that confirms that that backup environment is able to take the load and serve the users or not, right? Again, what we do is again we bring up this main environment, servers in the main environment. Then see, backup environment may not be having all the same configuration. It need not have the same configuration because that is used temporarily, isn't it? When we install inverter, we will not give for all the points, all the electrical points, right? Yes, yes or no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we'll give for fans and lights, right? Max, right? We will not give for geysers and ACs, right? So in that case, you need a big generator, isn't it? Inverter won't be sufficient. So in the same way, your backup environment will not be having the same number of servers, but it would be a downsized environment, means a small scale environment, right? So once this main environment is up and running, right, then again, like that user load or that user load should be directed to the main environment. So to test that, right, we do this failover testing. This is nothing but failover testing. In software also we do in the same way, just like how we use this mains power and backup inverter, right? So in the same way, in software also we'll have, for any application, we'll have some main environment and backup environment, and testing whether that backup environment is able to take the load or not, right? When the main environment is down, that is called as failover testing. Is it clear, guys? What is failover testing and how do we do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Next, capacity testing. Capacity testing is nothing but finding what is the maximum load that an application can handle. That is called as capacity testing. What is the maximum load that it can handle? That is called as capacity testing. Clear? Before the application breaks down, what is the maximum load that it can test? And there are, like this, there is a separate process for doing this capacity testing. So we'll discuss that later once we go for test execution. So, if required, we will discuss it. But, these are not so frequently done type of testing. Frequently done type of performance testing are these two. First, these two, load testing and stress soak testing, and then comes the stress and spike.
Right.
So these are the four major important performance test types that any application. So not any application. So for load test and soak test, you have to do for any kind of application. And based on the requirement, we do this stress testing and spike testing and other types of testing. Yeah, that's the reason I have highlighted in a different color here. All right. So I will stop it here, guys, for today. So tomorrow we will discuss in detail, like how a load test is done, what is soak test, what is the duration of soak test, how how is the duration decided for a endurance test, and what is stress test and how do we do that, right? So we'll discuss this in detail in the tomorrow's session. I'll stop it here for today. So let me pause recording, and for recording purpose, and for my YouTube channel purpose. So thanks for watching, and like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.